Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. So I thought I'd talk about everyone's favourite job, sanding. As you can tell, it's probably not my favourite job, and that's why I've got so many sanding machines. So I thought I'd talk you through what I have and what I use them for. So let's start with the belt sander. So the belt sander is a nice powerful machine, good for removing a lot of stock quickly. This is quite a basic, cheap model, and I have to really hold on to it because it's got so much power. It uses belts, as you might have guessed from the name, and they're quite quick to change over. Now, the big downside of these is the dust collection. This one came with a filter box, but it can also fit a vacuum, but either way, there's a lot of dust left over. The random orbital sander is my most used sander of all, and if I could only have one machine, this is what I'd go for. They come in two standard sizes. Well, there's probably others, but these are the most common, and that's 125 and 150 millimeters. They also come in different orbits. 2mm is what I use, but for something more aggressive, you can go up to a 5mm orbit. It uses sanding discs that are available in holes that match the sanding pads, and they attach using hook and loop. You can fit different interface pads to the bottom, and I've got a sponge one on here which helps doing curves, and I also use these pad savers which helps prolong the life of the pads. But when these pads do wear out, you can replace them. These machines tend to come with dust bags, but I prefer to attach a vacuum, and with the holes in the bottom and a fan that directs the dust, they do a really good job of dust collection. Now, a delta sander has a pad that vibrates, and it's good for fine work, and with the point, it's good for getting into corners. Personally, I don't use this very often. I tend to use the random orbital sander, and if there's corners that need sanding, I just do them by hand. It's got a pad that attaches with hook and loop, and it has a port for dust collection and a bag. But on this model, I had to buy an aftermarket accessory so I could actually plug the vac in. It doesn't do as good a job as the random orbital sanders, as it doesn't have the fan directing the dust up. That's it for all the handheld tools. Now let's have a look at some machines, and we'll start with the bobbin sander. The bobbin sander or spindle sander is used to sand the inside of curves. Now that might sound a bit specialist, but I'm amazed how often I actually use this thing. The bobbins can be swapped out to different sizes with different grits of paper on, and you can hook a vac up to the back and it does a pretty good job of dust collection. Now there is a cheaper option, and that's these, and they can fit onto a hand drill or a drill press. The disadvantage is there's no dust collection and there's no nice big work table to rest the piece on. The disc and belt sander is like a stationary version of a couple of the handheld machines. The belt's got loads of power, good for removing a lot of material quickly, and if you can use the end curved bit to sand the inside of curves. It's got dust collection which does a pretty good job compared to the handheld sander. Now the disc, unlike the handheld one, just spins. It doesn't move in a random orbit, but it does remove stock incredibly quickly and is really handy for sanding the outside of curves. Now the disadvantage of this machine is changing the belt and the disc takes a long time. You've got to take the covers off to get the belt out, and the disc is actually glued on. So I tend to keep them on a long time and prolong the life by using one of these rubber cleaning blocks for the discs and belt. So I hope that was a useful overview of the machines I have and what I use them for. And you really don't need this many, it's just my collection has grown over the years. If I could have one, as I say, it'd be a random orbital sander, a 125mm disc and a 2mm orbit. This is what I use 90% of the time. So I'll put links on the tools I use page where you can find hopefully most of these. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my patrons, and I'll see you next time.